Have you ever wondered why your home feels heavy even after deep cleaning? Why does that feeling of discomfort persist, like an invisible shadow that refuses to leave? Perhaps you've sought explanations in various places, consulted experts, rearranged furniture, but the discomfort continues. The answer may be closer than you imagine, right under your feet. The signs are present in your daily life: restless nights of sleep, arguments that arise from nowhere, objects that mysteriously disappear, plants that wither without explanation, persistent headaches when entering certain rooms, constant feeling of being watched, sudden chills when passing through certain areas of the house, inexplicable mood changes that affect all residents. These are not isolated events. They are manifestations of a disharmonized energy that has found entry through the simplest and most overlooked objects: your shoes. If you feel you need protection, comment now. I am protected by divine light. This phrase has power. It is the first step of your spiritual shield. By declaring this truth, you activate a vibrational frequency that begins to reorganize the energy field around you. Words spoken with faith are seeds sown in the spiritual garden of your existence. Padre Pio, in his deep spiritual wisdom, understood the power of everyday objects. Among all the items we use daily, he paid special attention to shoes. For the Italian saint, shoes were not mere accessories. They were receptacles of energy, silent witnesses to the paths we travel. Each step we take imprints on our footwear, not only the physical dirt from the ground, but also the energetic vibrations of the environments we visit. Cemeteries, hospitals, places of conflict, homes with heavy energies, all of this becomes impregnated in the soles of your shoes, like an invisible record that we bring into our homes. The saint of the Stigmata taught that shoes are like spiritual sponges. They absorb the energy of all places we pass through. When we return to our home, we bring with us not only dust and dirt, but also the energetic vibrations of each environment visited. An ordinary day may include visits to dozens of different locations, each with its own energetic signature. A heated discussion in the street, a tense work environment, a hospital where suffering is palpable, a place where an accident occurred. All these energies adhere to the soles of your shoes like invisible particles. Padre Pio revealed to his closest followers that there are 3 forbidden places to leave your shoes, 3 portals that, when inadvertently opened, invite negative influences into the sanctuary of your home. The first of these places is directly under your bed. The second is near the family altar or oratory. The third is in front of the main door of the house. Each of these locations represents a crucial energetic point in the spiritual geography of your home. Under the bed is where you rest, where your body and spirit regenerate during sleep. It is a space of spiritual vulnerability, where the natural defenses of your soul are more relaxed. During sleep, your energy field expands, becoming more receptive to subtle influences. Shoes placed under the bed transfer all the energies accumulated during the day directly to your etheric body, affecting the quality of your rest and allowing negative influences to infiltrate your dreams. Many people who suffer from recurring nightmares, unexplained insomnia, or wake up more tired than when they went to sleep are, without knowing, sleeping over a deposit of disharmonic energies stored in their footwear. The family altar or oratory is the point of direct connection with the divine within your home. It is a consecrated space, purified by constant prayer and the presence of sacred symbols. Placing shoes near this sacred place is like mixing clean water with dirty water. The low vibrations impregnated in the footwear interfere with the energetic purity necessary for spiritual communion. It's like trying to tune into a radio while strong static interferes with the signal. Your prayers encounter resistance, spiritual protection weakens, and the connection with higher planes becomes nebulous. The main door of your house is more than a simple physical entrance. It is an energetic portal. It is the point where external and internal energies meet, where the protection of your home begins. The ancients already knew this and therefore placed protection symbols over doors. Shoes left in front of the main door create a permanent, energetic bridge between the exterior and interior, nullifying the natural protective function of this sacred threshold. It's like leaving an invisible door constantly open, allowing the free circulation of influences that should remain outside. Now that you understand the spiritual dangers associated with incorrect shoe placement, it's time to learn the purification and protection ritual that Padre Pio transmitted to his closest, spiritual children. This is not a simple set of actions. It is a sacred rite that combines physical elements, words of power, and spiritual intention purified by faith. Each gesture has meaning, each word carries vibration, each action connects the visible to the invisible. To perform the path purification ritual, as it was called by Padre Pio himself, you will need to gather 7 sacred elements: non-iodized coarse salt, filtered or natural spring water, 3 dried bay leaves, a white candle, incense of lavender or frankincense, a small ceramic or glass container, and a prayer written by the Italian saint himself, which I will transcribe for you soon. The ritual should preferably be performed in the early morning hours of a Tuesday or Saturday, days traditionally associated with spiritual purification. Choose a moment when you can dedicate at least 30 uninterrupted minutes to this sacred practice, free from distractions and external interference. It is important to keep your heart and mind focused on the intention of purifying and protecting your home and your paths. Begin by gathering all your footwear, not just those you use frequently, but all pairs present in your house. Arrange them in a circle, with the toes pointing toward the center, in a place where sunlight shines, preferably on a ceramic or wooden floor. This circular arrangement symbolizes the unity of your paths and the convergence of all your journeys to a common spiritual center. Now, light the white candle and place it in the center of the circle formed by the shoes. As the flame establishes itself, pronounce 3 times, "May divine light illuminate all my paths, purifying every step I have taken and every step I will take." Next, prepare the sacred water that will be used in the purification. In the ceramic or glass container, place the filtered or natural spring water. Add 3 tablespoons of coarse salt, stirring clockwise with a wooden spoon or with your right index finger. While stirring, recite 7 times, "By the power of this salt and this water, all negative energy dissolves and returns to the light." Now add the 3 bay leaves to the salt water, one at a time. As you place the first leaf, say, "By the power of earth, my paths are purified." What as you place the second leaf, say, "By the power of water, my steps are blessed." As you place the third leaf, say, "By the power of fire and air, all protection is granted to me." Light the incense and allow its sacred smoke to circulate through the environment, creating an atmosphere of purification. Move the incense counterclockwise around the circle of shoes, visualizing the smoke as a violet light that dissolves all stagnant or negative energy. While doing this, recite, "By the power of this sacred incense, all evil dissipates, all darkness transforms into light." Now comes the central moment of the ritual. With the prepared water, you will purify each pair of shoes individually. Lightly dip your fingers in the water with salt and bay leaves and touch the soles of each shoe, making the sign of the cross over them. For each pair, repeat, "All evil returns to its origin. Nothing can reach me. I am protected by divine light." Quick pause. If you're taking notes, write everything down carefully. Don't skip any details. Each gesture you make activates an ancient spiritual force. This knowledge has been preserved through generations of faithful people and now comes to you as a divine gift. Honor this tradition by performing each step with reverence and precision. After purifying all pairs of footwear, it's time to establish the correct place to store them. Padre Pio taught that the ideal location is a specific cabinet near the entrance of the house, preferably separated from other belongings. If this is not possible, designating a specific shelf or area for shoes also works. The important thing is that this location is A. away from your bed, B. distant from your altar or prayer space, C. not directly in front of the main door, but at an angle that does not create a straight line between the exterior and interior of the house. When organizing your shoes in this location, place them in aligned pairs, never crossed or overlapping. Crossed footwear symbolizes blocked paths in spiritual life. The correct alignment favors the harmonious flow of energies associated with your physical and spiritual journeys. Finalize the ritual by sprinkling a few drops of the prepared sacred water in each corner of your house, starting from the point furthest from the entrance door and moving in a spiral until you reach the main door. In each corner say, "This home is sealed and protected by divine grace. No negative energy can remain or enter here." Finally, return to the center of your house and recite this prayer attributed to Padre Pio. Almighty Lord God, who guides my steps through the paths of life, I consecrate to you all my journeys. Purify each place where I have walked, bless each soil that my feet have touched. By the merits of the precious blood of our Lord Jesus Christ, by the painful steps he took carrying the cross, by the paths traveled by Our Lady in her earthly life, I ask for the complete purification of my house and my paths. May the guardian angels protect this home. May the saints intercede for this family, and may divine peace reign in every room. Amen. The effects of this ritual begin to manifest subtly in the first 24 hours and intensify over the next 7 days. Many people report an immediate sensation of lightness in the environment, as if an invisible weight had been removed. Sleep becomes deeper and more restorative, without the startles or nightmares that previously disturbed nights. The atmosphere of the house seems clearer, as if an imperceptible mist had dissipated. On the physical plane, you may notice a reduction in unexplained headaches or discomfort felt when entering certain rooms. Plants that previously withered without apparent reason gain new vigor. Electronic devices function with more stability without the recurring failures that previously seemed inexplicable. On the emotional and relational plane, a gradual harmonization is observed. Discussions that arose from nowhere decrease significantly. Dialogue flows more easily. Old tensions begin to dissipate. There is a renewed sense of family unity, as if everyone were finally tuned to the same positive vibrational frequency. On the spiritual plane, many experience an awakening of intuition. The connection with the divine becomes clearer during prayers. Positive synchronicities begin to happen more frequently. Some people report prophetic dreams or encounters with their guardian angels during sleep. Spiritual protection becomes palpable, like an invisible mantle that envelops the house and its residents. On the plane of prosperity, an opening of paths is observed. Opportunities that previously seemed blocked begin to emerge. Necessary resources manifest in unexpected ways. Financial flow gains more stability, and decisions related to work and career become clearer and more accurate. Maria de Lourdes, 62, a resident of a small town in the countryside, had suffered for years with insomnia and a constant sensation of strange presence in her house. "I've always been a person of faith, attended church, prayed daily, but something in my house didn't seem right," she says. "Doctors had already ruled out physical causes for my insomnia, and I even considered moving, such was my anguish." It was then that a friend told her about Padre Pio's teaching related to shoes. I confess that at first I found it strange. How could something so simple be causing such discomfort? But I decided to try the ritual. What did I have to lose? Recalls Maria. She noticed that, like many people, she kept her shoes under the bed for convenience and left everyday footwear near the main door. I performed the ritual on a Tuesday at dawn. I followed all the instructions with great respect and faith. That same night, I slept as I hadn't slept in years, a deep sleep, without startles. The next morning, upon entering the room that always gave me chills, I felt an incredible lightness. It was as if my house had finally breathed a sigh of relief after years of suffocation. In the following days, Maria noticed other significant changes. The plants on my veranda, which never thrived despite all the care, began to bloom. My son, who had been facing difficulties finding employment for months, received 2 proposals in the same week. And most impressively, the relationship with my daughter-in-law, which had always been tense, began to improve inexplicably. Today, 3 months after performing the ritual for the first time, she repeats it with each new moon as energetic maintenance. Maria affirms that her house has transformed into a true sanctuary of peace. It's not superstition. It's a matter of energy and faith. The ancients knew things that we, with all our technology, have forgotten. Padre Pio was enlightened to preserve this knowledge. My life changed completely after this simple ritual. Perform this ritual today. Don't wait. The energy around you is already moving. The protection you seek is in your hands now. Each day that passes with your shoes positioned incorrectly is another day of invisible doors, open to influences that may be affecting your health, your relationships, your prosperity, and your spiritual peace. The spiritual knowledge that Padre Pio preserved and transmitted is a sacred treasure, a powerful tool for navigating the invisible challenges of the spiritual world. Just as we wash our hands before eating to eliminate germs we cannot see, we must purify our footwear and care for its positioning to eliminate energetic contaminations that, although invisible, profoundly affect our lives. You now possess this knowledge, a sacred responsibility. Share it with those you love, with those you perceive are facing difficulties without apparent cause. But remember, knowledge without action is like a seed that is never planted. Do not allow these words to be just another interesting piece of information you read. Transform them into a living practice, an act of faith and spiritual self-care. Shoes are more than mere objects. They are extensions of your feet, which in turn are the most direct points of contact between your physical body and the earth. In spiritual tradition, feet are considered receivers and transmitters of energy. It is no coincidence that in many ancient cultures, washing a guest's feet was a sacred act of purification and hospitality. Jesus Christ himself washed the feet of his disciples, demonstrating the symbolic and spiritual importance of this gesture. Your shoes carry the energetic history of your paths. They have witnessed your moments of joy and sadness, your meetings and farewells, your victories and challenges. Each step imprints on the footwear not only physical wear, but also a unique vibrational signature. When you purify your shoes through this ritual, you are symbolically purifying your entire journey, the past, the present, and opening harmonious paths for the future. Padre Pio, in his profound spiritual sensitivity, understood that the seemingly insignificant details of everyday life have profound impacts on the invisible plane. As he used to say, in the spiritual realm, there are no small negligences, only doors open or closed to divine influence. The care of shoes was just one of the many practical teachings that the saints shared with those who sought spiritual guidance. The ritual you learn today is not a simple superstition. It is an ancestral practice of energetic hygiene, clothed with the spiritual authority of one of the greatest mystics of the modern era. It is an act of faith that recognizes the interconnection between the material world and the spiritual world, between the visible and the invisible, between the conscious and the unconscious. By performing this ritual regularly, it is recommended to repeat it with each change of the moon or whenever you feel the energy of the house is heavy. You establish a routine of spiritual maintenance similar to the physical cleaning of your home. Just as we don't wait for dust to visibly accumulate to clean the house, we shouldn't wait for energy problems to manifest in severe symptoms to perform the purification of our footwear and paths. Remember that faith is the catalyst that activates the power of this ritual. Without faith, these gestures are empty. With faith, they become conductors of divine grace. Padre Pio always emphasized that the effectiveness of any spiritual practice depends not only on technical precision, but mainly on the inner disposition of the one who performs it. Approach this ritual with reverence, gratitude, and total trust in divine protection, and the results will be enhanced. There is an aspect of Padre Pio's teaching about shoes that few know: the relationship between footwear and guardian angels. According to the Italian mystic, the angels designated to protect our home have their work made difficult when they encounter energetic disorder associated with our footwear. It's as if the disorganization creates interference in the frequency of communication between us and these celestial beings. After performing the path purification ritual, many people report significant experiences with their guardian angels, dreams in which they receive important messages, palpable sensation of protective presence, synchronicities that seem guided by a superior intelligence, and even fleeting glimpses of light or movement in the corner of the eyes, subtle signs of angelic presence that previously went unnoticed due to energetic interference. Have you noticed how some houses seem naturally welcoming, while others, even impeccably decorated, provoke a subtle discomfort? This difference is often related to the energetic hygiene of the environment, and the treatment given to footwear is a crucial factor in this invisible equation. Houses where shoes are treated with proper spiritual care tend to maintain a harmonized, welcoming, and invigorating vibration. In the East, the practice of removing shoes before entering a house is not just a matter of physical cleanliness. It is an ancestral recognition of the role of footwear as energy transporters. Japan, Thailand, India, and many other countries have preserved this wisdom that the West has largely forgotten. Padre Pio, with his extraordinary spiritual sensitivity, rescued this knowledge and adapted it to Western reality through practices like the ritual I shared with you today. Imagine your shoes as constant recorders of the vibrational frequencies where you pass. Each environment has its own energetic signature. Hospitals carry the energy of suffering and healing. Cemeteries, the energy of transition and mourning. Places of conflict, the energy of discord. Sacred environments, the energy of peace and elevation. All these frequencies are temporarily imprinted on your footwear like invisible recordings. When you place these shoes in strategic locations of your house, such as under the bed, near the altar, or in front of the main door, you are essentially creating reproduction points for these accumulated energies. It's like placing a speaker that continuously emits the frequencies recorded throughout the day, 24 hours a day, even when you are sleeping or trying to pray. This understanding should not generate fear, but rather awareness and responsibility. Spiritual knowledge does not exist to frighten us, but to empower us, to give us practical tools that allow us to navigate with more wisdom through the visible and invisible realms of existence. The path purification ritual is one of those precious tools that is now in your hands. Think of the profound implications of this teaching. If something as seemingly mundane as the positioning of your shoes can have such significant impacts on your spiritual well-being, imagine how many other everyday details may be influencing your life without you noticing. This is just a gateway to a broader spiritual awareness, an invitation to awaken to the subtle dimensions of reality that surround us. In the monasteries where Padre Pio lived, there were specific rules about the treatment of footwear. Shoes were never stored in the same environment where the monks slept or prayed. There were designated places, usually near the entrances, but never directly in front of them. The more spiritually sensitive monks could immediately perceive when these rules were broken, as they felt the change in the atmosphere of the environment. A fascinating detail of the path purification ritual that Padre Pio taught is the importance of the moment of realization. The saint recommended that the ritual be done preferably during the early morning hours, when the veil between the material and spiritual worlds is thinner, or during sunset, a natural moment of transition between light and darkness. These golden hours amplify the effectiveness of the ritual, allowing the purification to reach deeper layers of the energetic fabric. The choice of materials is also not random. Non-iodized coarse salt preserves its original crystalline structure, not modified by the addition of iodine. This pure crystalline structure has energy absorption and transmutation properties known since antiquity. Water, preferably from a natural source, carries the memory of the original purity of creation. Bay leaf is a plant associated with clairvoyance and protection in practically all Mediterranean traditions. The white candle represents the divine light that dissipates all darkness. Incense creates an olfactory bridge between the material and spiritual realms. When you combine these elements with precise gestures, words of power, and above all, with unwavering faith, you create a transformative energy field that acts simultaneously on multiple levels of reality. The physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual are touched at the same time, creating a harmony that re-establishes the original balance planned by God for your home and your life. Padre Pio frequently warned about the danger of spiritual blind spots, areas of our life to which we do not pay conscious attention and which, precisely because of this, become vulnerable to negative influence. Shoes and their positioning constitute one of these blind spots for most people. How many of us would never consider that something so ordinary could have such profound spiritual impacts? This is the true purpose of spiritual knowledge: to illuminate our blind spots, to bring to consciousness that which previously operated in the shadows, to give us choices where before there was only unconscious automatism. By becoming aware of the spiritual importance of your footwear, you have just eliminated a significant blind spot in your life. This awareness in itself is transformative. The oldest spiritual traditions have always recognized the profound symbolism of feet and footwear. In the Bible, we find multiple references. Moses is instructed to remove his sandals before the burning bush, for he was stepping on sacred ground. Jesus washes the disciples' feet in a gesture of profound spiritual significance. The apostles are oriented to shake the dust from their sandals when leaving cities that rejected the divine message. These are not just historical narratives or metaphors. They are encoded teachings about the relationship between our footwear and our spiritual journey. Padre Pio, with his extraordinary ability to read human souls, frequently surprised visitors by commenting on places they had recently visited, information he obtained not through supernatural revelation, but simply by observing with physical and spiritual eyes people's footwear. "I see you have been in a place of great suffering," he would say to a visitor who had just left a hospital. "You visited a cemetery today," he would comment to another, to the astonishment of the interlocutor. This sensitivity was not exclusive to the Italian saint. It is a latent capacity in all of us, although dormant due to disconnection from the subtle dimensions of reality. By practicing the path purification ritual and developing awareness about the energy of your footwear, you gradually awaken this dormant sensitivity. Many people report that after a few months of regular practice, they begin to intuitively perceive the energies impregnated in their own shoes and in the footwear of other people. There are reports of people who, after incorporating these teachings into their routine, developed a kind of internal alarm that alerts them whenever they are about to place shoes in spiritually inadequate locations. It's as if the body develops a more refined immune system, capable of identifying potential contaminations even before they occur. This evolution of sensitivity is not an end in itself, but a tool for a more conscious and harmonized life. When you become capable of perceiving the subtle energies around you, you gain the ability to make choices more aligned with your integral well-being. It's like acquiring a new sense that complements the 5 physical senses, allowing you to navigate not only through the material world, but also through the invisible currents that permeate it. The path purification ritual you learned today is just the first step of a journey of spiritual awareness that can profoundly transform your relationship with the environment around you. It is an invitation to awaken to the invisible dimensions of reality and assume conscious protagonism in the modeling of your energy field. Many people, after experiencing the benefits of this ritual, naturally feel called to expand their understanding and practice of energetic hygiene. They begin to perceive that, like shoes, many other everyday objects, keys, bags, electronic devices, clothes, also function as energetic sponges that absorb and transmit the vibrations of the environments they pass through. This expanded awareness should not generate obsession or fear, but rather loving and responsible attention to the details that compose our everyday reality. It is similar to the discovery of germs and bacteria by science. We do not become germophobic, but rather adopt reasonable hygiene practices that protect us without paralyzing our social existence. Padre Pio taught that true spiritual protection comes not from fear, but from love. When we perform the path purification ritual not out of terror of negative influences, but out of love for ourselves, our family, and our home, we activate a much more powerful vibrational frequency. Fear contracts, love expands. Fear closes, love opens. Fear paralyzes, love transforms. It is with this spirit of transforming love that I invite you to incorporate this sacred knowledge into your life. See the ritual not as a heavy obligation, but as an act of spiritual self-care, a tangible expression of your commitment to integral well-being, yours and those you love. Always remember, you are not alone on this journey. Around you exists an invisible community of support. Angels, saints, ancestors of light, all vibrating in resonance with your pure intention to create a sanctuary of peace in your home. Padre Pio himself, who dedicated his life to transmitting practical knowledge of spiritual protection, continues his divine mission in the spiritual plane, assisting all those who apply his teachings with sincere faith and open heart. Make this ritual not just a mechanical procedure, but a true sacred ceremony, a moment of conscious connection with the subtle dimensions that permeate our existence. Be fully present in each gesture, in each word, in each intention. This full presence is, in itself, a powerful transformative energy. And as the results begin to manifest in your life, deeper sleep, lighter house, more harmonious relationships, more open paths, share this knowledge with others who may benefit from it, not through proselytism or imposition, but through a genuine desire to contribute to the well-being of those who cross your path. True spiritual knowledge is never exclusive property. It is a river of grace destined to flow, to nourish, to transform. By sharing what you have learned, you become a channel of this divine grace, an instrument of the light that dissipates shadows not through confrontation, but through the simple and powerful presence of truth. May your purified shoes always lead, you along paths of light. May your steps be blessed. May your house become a true sanctuary of peace, and may your life flourish in all dimensions, material and spiritual, visible and invisible, temporal and eternal. Perform this ritual today. Don't wait. The energy around you is already moving. The protection you